25 kilometers up, still descending pretty rapidly. Periapsis is in the planet. We are definitely definitely going to hit the surface. Now, this could prove a problem. I suspect we are now going to land somewhere in these low hills. This could prove a serious problem. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, well, let's hope we land in one of these gullies. Somewhere over here and not on a ridge. Just gone under a kilometre a second, so we are now safely inside the atmosphere, and we're just going to be having these white atmospheric effects now. It's still way too dangerous to deploy the parachutes. They're going green, with this sort of greenish colour, and then they go a bright green when we are ready to land. I don't really think we've got much of a choice, really. I don't want to land sort of here. Anywhere here should be fine, he says. Oh dear. Crew report. Oh, we can do a crew report. Let's do a crew report. We can do a crew report and recover 100% of the science. At the end of the last episode, we lost contact with Jeb and Tamthy's craft. It was presumed crashed, with all loss of life. Fortunately, a few days later, we received a blurred and fuzzy image that demonstrated the vehicle had indeed landed, and that Jeb and Tamthy were alive. Bill and Bob rushed off to the VAB to build a craft, while Val went to the tracking centre to identify the crash site. Meanwhile, Jean, ever mindful of the pennies, rang the insurance company. They issued the paperwork in the form of a contract, which we will accept, and rush off and rescue our heroes. Val and the whiz kids in the tracking station have managed to identify the crash site. It's on the far side of Kerbin. If we zoom right in here, it's in the valleys and low hills in between this range of mountains, which is going to make landing rather tricky. But Val has been in the simulator practicing, so let's get out on the launch pad and rescue our heroes. This is the X1. It's a rather awkward looking vehicle, but it is the one that's going to take us to Jeb and Tamthy's, I was about to say resting place, but their crash site. So let's get the throttle right up, let's get the T key on and launch away. Now we have Valentina in the pilot seat, and Bill is along because he has a certificate in first aid, and we thought that might prove a little bit useful under the circumstances. So let's just get ourselves turned over. Now we have a large orange tank here on the bottom. I don't think we'll be needing to get into orbit, so we're going to be turning over fairly sharpish. We're going to manually control throttle and steering. We're not using a KOS script today because we're going to be using quite an unusual and very low trajectory, because we're going to want to be landing back on Kerbin fairly promptly. And promptly is the right word. We need to get to the crash site and rescue our two heroic crew members before they suffer too much from their trials and tribulations. So let's keep this turning over. We're still going up quite high. We're just about to get to solid stage launch. Just get the skipper engine there up to maximum throttle now. So let's just nip over to map view, and we're using the trajectories mod to anticipate where we are going to land. Now we need to go slightly above the equator. The landing site is 5 degrees north, so let's just get ourselves a little bit over. Check our apoapsis, 59, 60. So we don't really need to be going much higher, but we do need to be going a little bit further north. So let's get ourselves pretty much flat now, and we'll just watch our landing site as it comes over. So there we go, 65. So we're just going to be popping our head out of the atmosphere and then dropping back down to let's say around about here, where the second part of the X1 will be taking over. So there we go, we're just popping out of the atmosphere. So let's keep ourselves now as level as possible. Still have 45 seconds of delta V in the current stage, so that's fine. So we're getting out over the ocean now, so we're about halfway to our destination, maybe 2/3. And here we go. Starting to stretch out now over the far continent. Get ready to kill the throttle. And there we go. So we're going to come in a little bit to the south of the landing site. So let's go back to our vehicle, see how Val and Bill are doing. Let us now release our section here. There we go. Let's release. There we go. That reveals the plane part of the rocket plane. So we don't now need our second section here. This is an empty fuel tank. Just use an empty fuel tank to act as an extension to lift it away, so we could get the cowling, get the fairing over it. And now we are ready for re-entry. Let's get the gear up. It always starts gear out. Little strange little feature there. So let us get prepared. We're going to go body down. So let's get ourselves. Where's retrograde? Here we go. So that's retrograde that way. Okay. So let us now just accelerate time a little as we come round over the little peninsula here, which is about 1/3 of the way across on our journey. Let's just have a look and see how we're doing. We need to make sure we have, where we go, which craft do we have? Invisible craft. Oh, we'll do it from there. We'll do it from here. There we go. We're at, where are we doing? We're doing 95. So we're at apoapsis now. Apoapsis now. See part of our debris below us. And there we can see the launch section falling away below. So let's just use time warp to get around a little bit further. We can just about see our crash site marker coming into view as we're coming up now to re-entering the atmosphere. So let's just get ourselves aligned. Make sure we are controlling from the cockpit. And we are ready for re-entry. So we're going to start getting some aerodynamic effects very shortly. Now we've got just two basic jet engines here. We haven't got the advanced jet engines because we're not going to be doing any supersonic flight. We merely want to get down and rescue our heroic crew here at the crash site. So let's get navigation assigned. So we can see we are about 280 odd kilometers from the crash site. We could pick up a bit of science, but we need to concentrate. We need to concentrate on rescuing our dear friends. So 50 kilometers up, we're still going at almost 2 kilometers a second. So we're going to start seeing some effects very, very shortly. There we go. As we start coming into the thicker part of the atmosphere. Let's get ourselves belly first into that airstream. Velocity starting to fall. Bill and Valentina happy to be on their way. I think all our debris will miss us. Yep, we should be fine for debris. There's the orange tank a long way below us now. So 35 kilometres. Really starting to bite now. Velocity starting to drop quite rapidly. .30 kilometres. Everything looking good. 26. We'll start up our main engines, our two jet engines, when we reach this change of atmosphere there. So here we go, coming up to 20. We're now in the thicker part of the atmosphere and we should be safe. To start our approach. There we go. Engines have fired up. And we're on our way. Now, in order to cram these 4 cockpits into a relatively small fairing, I've got very narrow wingspan here, so we don't have a great deal of lift. So we are going to be pretty much nose up for the rest of our journey. We can see our target over there in the distance. 3 minutes to arrival. We've got plenty of delta V to get there, so that shouldn't be a problem. So let's get ourselves nose up again. We've got about 10 kilonewtons of thrust. Still slowing a little. And we can start to turn towards our target. So let's bring it around. So 5 minutes to arrival. Right, well, we return with Val and Bill, and we are now just under 30 kilometres and 3 minutes away from our goal. You can just see it down there, nestled amongst these small foothills. So the approach is going to be a little bit awkward. And landing is probably going to prove a bit too difficult for a traditional landing. So we'll go for a parachute landing. A little bit of a cheat, but we did come packed with parachutes. You can see we have 4 at the back here and 2 at the front. So we should be okay for a parachute landing. So let's just get ourselves down. We're at 7 kilometers at the moment, 20 kilometers out. So let's get ourselves down a little bit towards, well, terrain altitude is 4 kilometers, so got 4 kilometers to the terrain. So let us bring ourselves down towards the crash site. Got a pretty good approach through this low ridge here, so let's get ourselves down towards that low ridge and probably start reducing our speed as well. So 10 kilometers to target, 2.5 kilometers above the surface. So we're dropping pretty rapidly, we should be able to arrest that drop as we approach. So let's start bringing down the velocity. down to about 100 meters per second. So you can see it's quite a rocky location. Dropping the throttle right down. 400 meters above the surface. Getting ready for our parachute landing. Right down on the throttle. And let's pop the parachutes and get the gear down. So there we go. A lovely thump down. Get the brakes on. We've made it. Just a few hundred yards. 121 meters over to our target. So let's just get the throttle up and the brakes off, and let's just cruise on over to meet up with our crashed crew. Hopefully they should be ready for us, sort of seen us coming, and just park up ready to transfer. So let's get the brakes on. And let's just pop over to the other vehicle and see how the crew are doing. Both Jeb and Tamthy appear to be in good spirits, so let's get Tamthy over to the vehicle first. Bill has prepared the recently invented ladder, so let's see if we can get Tamthy aboard. So up she goes. I don't think so. It looks like Tamthy's a little bit disorientated, so let's get her up again. Let's have another go. There she is. So let's get her aboard. Let's get her aboard this one here. So up she gets. There we go. So in we go. Come on, Tamthy, turn around. And boarded. Right, Tamthy's boarded, so let's go and get Jeb. He's going to go round the other side. So round you go, Jeb. Bill hasn't been so kind as to get the ladder out for Jeb, so let's extend that ladder and see if Jeb makes a better fist of getting into the craft. So up you go, Jeb. So let's climb the ladder and board up. Yep, there we go. We are all safely aboard. Now we don't have enough fuel to get us all the way back to the KSC, so Gene has phoned ahead and he has made a local hospital aware of our need, and so we will be recovering to a nearby hospital. So let's get the throttle up and just taxi up this slope here, and we will take off in that direction. So let's get the brakes off and just get up to the brow of this hill. A little bit up, a little bit of a sandstorm above us. Must be quite dry up there at the top of this hill. So let's get up a little bit higher up the hill to create ourselves a little bit of a better run. So let's just turn the vehicle around, get our plane turned around, get the brakes on as we turn. We don't want to roll all the way back down the hill, so let's get the brakes on. Okay, make sure we go through our necessary pre-flight checks, also known as a quick save. And brakes off, throttle up, and let's get ourselves extracted back to our nearby hotel, hospital and hotel. I'm sure it will be very, very comfortable. So let's get up to speed, and there we go. Bit of a rough launch, bit rough. Let's see if we can get over this. Oh, that's going to be close. Whoa, that was close. But good flying there from Val. Well done, Val, getting us into the night sky safely on our way to our hospital. Well, thank you very much for watching this rather exciting episode, our rescue of our rescue crew. And we look forward to seeing you again shortly. If you like the episode, please like the episode. And if you want to see more, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.